life together. We have the reading from the Song of Songs that captures and expresses in very beautiful poetic terms what draws two people together to the point in their lives where they have the courage and the foolishness. You need both in order to enter into a sacrament of marriage. Set me a seal on your heart, and that's what they desire for each other. But we hear in the letter to the Hebrews an important lesson that Paul sought to share with the early communities of faith, not only by his words, but more importantly and more powerfully by his example, his flesh and blood. And that was, remember hospitality. The one thing that enables a marriage to grow and to thrive, to bear fruit and to flourish, and to give light to all in the house is a true, loving hospitality. That is an open and generous heart and a warm and welcoming word. Many years ago, I was a campus minister at the University of Georgia, and I used to see a lot of young people, particularly young people as they were not only pursuing their education, but also pursuing that great academic and athletic sport that is called trying to find a partner. And I had one young man come to me and he said, I really am looking for the right person to be my partner. I want them to be smart. I would like them to be caring. And yes, I want to make sure they're good for my career. You got the picture? Well, I listened to this and I said in my mind, he's far from ready for marriage. So then I tried to say as gently as possible, are you sure there's anyone out there that would want to marry you? What he lacked, and what so many lack, unfortunately, as they begin a life of married love, is the gift of hospitality. Marriage is not for selfish reasons. Marriage requires a selfless, sacrificing heart. One in which we take our partner so seriously that we always reserve a place for them in the innermost sanctuary of our hearts. One in which we strive, sometimes we succeed, sometimes we fail, but nevertheless we strive on a daily basis to offer a warm and welcoming word so that they know that place in your heart is reserved for them. It's a lifelong challenge, but it is an art and a skill that is rooted in grace. And that's why you've chosen to profess your wedding promises here in this place. For we turn to God who gave us life, God who surrounded us with the love of our families and our friends, and God who promises to be with you as you struggle daily, not only to have an open and welcoming heart, but a warm word for each other. And that will be the promise of a fruitful, faithful, and lifelong marriage. I know you've begun well. We pray today that God will continue with you to ensure that your life together will be filled with happiness, peace, and joy. Come what may, because you have begun the journey of a sacramental life in married love. Set that seal upon your heart. Welcome one another in good times and in bad, in sickness and in health. And know that God will always be with you. Offer to you a share of his life and love so that you might share it with each other. And that will become a light for all of us. And boy, do we need that light in our lives to remind us that we are not alone, despite the world that spins around us, despite the challenges that we have to face, and despite the too often darkness and coldness that is outside. The light of God's love, the promise of his presence is always with us. And he invites us to share that joy as they today share that joy with each other. So we invite you now to stand and exchange your wedding promises that we can enjoy this day with you. I invite